Comedy movies have been dead for the past decade, which is especially depressing because Hollywood stopped making funny movies when we needed them the most. The past 10 years have been some of the most chaotic and divided times in modern history. Politics taking over literally everything, cost of living skyrocketing, and people spending hours online doom scrolling an infinite feed of bad news. If there was ever a time we needed to collectively sit in a theater and just laugh at something stupid,
what's going on, King Jack? Welcome in, thanks for the follow.
During the 90s and early 2000s, we were getting multiple hilarious comedy films each year. I bet you forgot how stacked the year 2004 was. Anchorman, White Chicks, Dodgeball, Mean Girls, Napoleon Dynamite.
Would White Chicks work now? I'm just asking for a friend. Would White Chicks work now? I don't think so. I don't think so. I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. I mean, White Chicks 2? I don't know. Dodgeball. No one makes me bleed like my own blood.
All in the same year. If we got one movie as funny as any of these in the past 5 years, we would be grateful. But this isn't even just an opinion. The data doesn't lie. 2016 was the official point of no return for comedy films. In that year, comedies made up about 12% of the domestic box office and pulled in $1.1 billion. Just 1 year later, their share was nearly cut in half to 7%, with gross revenue dropping to $790 million, making it the single biggest one-year collapse on record. After that, it was all downhill. 2022 was particularly abysmal, with the entire genre of comedy grossing $259 million.
Is that not because everyone was watching, like, COVID films? Like, watching, like, you know, end of the world apocalyptic style movies in 21, 22? I don't know, maybe. I mean, I wasn't watching comedy. I wanted to see what was going to happen to the end of the world. Alrighty then.
Is an entire year of movies that gross less than just what The Hangover did in 2009. So what happened to comedy films after 2016? Well, there are a few things we have to consider, but it all boils down to one major reason. And today we are going to discuss everything, starting with how Hollywood lost the creativity that we used to see in small, medium, and high-budget comedy films.
I think what it is because DVDs do not sell anymore, neither do Blu-rays, where a lot of the production companies would get a huge return from investment on DVD and Blu-ray sales, not to mention cinema releases and getting the ticket prices and profits from that as well. You add 3 of those up, that is a massive income and profit. You slash all that and you just add a Netflix subscription. You are down on budget, my friend. Zero income. So the budgets aren't there. We might as well end the film now. Actually, we'll carry on.
The beauty of comedy is that it's boundaryless. Unlike drama, kind of action, or even horror, it doesn't really need to play by any established rules. A comedy can start with literally anything. A talking animal.
Can we talk about School of Rock? Can we? I watched it for the first time with the kids the other day. I was like, kids, we need to learn something. We need to learn something. And this right here, ladies and gentlemen, is a great film. School of Rock. Come on. What? I'm not a fan? What? You're not a fan of School of Rock? Moose says don't like that one. Who are you?
Animal, a man stuck in a time loop, a dodgeball tournament, a pair of clueless detectives, and turn it into a creative masterpiece. The premise.
Can I stop? I just want to stop 1 minute. Just want to say. So that's going to be really, really, really controversial and bad. I need to admit something. I need to admit something, and I need to do it now. Not right now, but I haven't seen Dodgeball. I ain't seen it. I don't know why. I know what it is. I know reference points, but I've never seen it. How do I unfollow? I'm sorry. I need to sort my life out. But I'll tell you something that's really annoying me is that Cobby has just said didn't care for School of Rock either, which is actually, it's hit a nerve now. 3 people have said they didn't like School of Rock. You are uneducated imbeciles, is all I can say. I'm sorry. I haven't seen it either, mate. Thank you, Panda. I'm not the only one. Okay, let's continue. That film right there. What's this? Jump Street? No, wait, what is it? I'm gonna say Wolf of Wall Street, but it ain't that. Same dude. What was it called? 21 Jump Street. Thank you.
Miss doesn't have to be realistic. It doesn't.
Scary Movie's coming back. Not Scary Movie. Yes, Scary Movie 5, I'm gonna say. Or there's a new one. There's a new one coming. I can't wait. Classic.
Even have to make any sense. As long as it's funny, it works. Take Ace Ventura: Pet Detective, for example. What a unique concept. A private investigator who specializes in finding lost animals and solves crimes through pure chaos and speaks almost entirely in one-liners.
I'm sorry.
At one point,
one
he's
of my
literally
favorite
crawling out of a
films.
rhino's ass. Then again, Jim Carrey was kind of a cheat code for 90s comedies. Films like The Mask and Liar Liar showcased his ability to immerse us into the most ridiculous plots imaginable. Carrey had this cartoon-like elasticity.
Me,
he
myself,
could bend
and Irene.
contort his face and body, which made even the dumbest scenes of dialogue unforgettable. Or what about...
You don't get better than that guy! You cannot get better than Jim Carrey! I don't care what anyone says!
Dumb and Dumber, which is literally just a movie about two dumbasses.
You go straight ahead and you make the left over the bridge.
That's a lovely accent you have. New Jersey?
Austria.
Austria? Well then, good day, mate. Let's put another shrimp on the barbie.
I always found myself gravitating towards...
I'm sorry. Can we just get a GG's in the chat for frickin' Jim Carrey? Where are you, Jim? Jim! Jim! Can I ask a question, Jim? If you're watching. Alrighty, you're probably not. Jim. Hi, mate. Why on God's green earth are you not working? We need more movies, Jim. Come on, Jimmy. Come on, Jimmy. Alrighty then.
Films that had insanely unrealistic plots. The kind of movies where the world they're in doesn't follow society's rules or any rules at all. When there's no logic to be broken and the possibilities are endless. Like literally anything can happen. The Hangover took this concept to the absolute maximum. At its core, it's just a bachelor party gone wrong.
Right?
Something that in real life might just end with a bad hangover and some embarrassing photos. But in this world, it spirals into a mystery involving a missing groom, a stolen police car,
such
a baby
a great
in the closet,
video.
Mike Tyson's tiger, and a mob boss named Mr. Chow. It's an escalating chain of ridiculous events where every new reveal is crazier than the last.
Right here, just
and
class.
because the movie establishes early on that anything can happen, you never question it. In Anchorman, the 1970s news industry...
Can we pause it for Hangover? This is going way too quick. I forgot how good film was. Anchorman. And do you know what's something that really annoys me about Anchorman? Is the fact that my wife doesn't like it. She doesn't understand Will Ferrell. And I have questioned our marriage. I have. And I will not give up. Because 60% of the time, it works all the time. Damn, I fucked it. We try that again. And I will not give up. Because 60% of the time, it works every time.
is less about...
We got there in the end. Never seen it! Moose Knuckle, I don't know what your problem is, mate. You come in here, right, and you start giving me grief. Yeah? You didn't like School of Rock. Now you don't like... Well, I don't know if you was referring to The Hangover. I don't know if you're referring to The Anchorman. What do you like? What does he like? Does he like anything? Anything? Are you even a human? Are you AI? Don't like AI. Can we just carry on, please?
Journalism and more about ego wars that escalate into literal deadly combat between rival news teams. Compete with tridents, horses, and someone catching on fire, and then casually returning to work like nothing happened. Anchorman is the perfect example of a comedy movie that dedicates almost all of its dialogue to do one very important thing: make you laugh.
Brian, I'm gonna be honest with you, that smells like pure gasoline.
Here we go!
They've done studies, 60% of the time, it works every time.
Yeah!
That doesn't make sense.
The
That
amount
doesn't
of
make any
quotable
sense.
lines in this movie is unprecedented. It was even unique back then, but now, I mean, maybe you'd be lucky to get one or two quotables in a comedy movie. Dodgeball is about a Las Vegas dodgeball tournament for fully grown adults with a prize big enough to
Okay, here we go. This is where it gets interesting because I just admitted something that I've never seen, Dodgeball, and I'm sorry, I am. I think, I don't know if Kit's going to allow it, but I feel like we should do a freaking watch party of this freaking movie. Just sit back, pour some Jack, pull out your sack and relax and watch a bit of Dodgeball. I don't know, maybe. Can we do that? Kick, can we get confirmation? Kick, are you here? Is there any Kick staff out there? Is anybody out there? I don't think we've got any Kick staff in. Maybe not.
save a failing gym.
If you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball.
What?
Oh my god.
They get their asses handed to them
Okay,
by
I
a
need
bunch
to-
of
need to-
Girl
need to
Scouts,
see it, need to see
experiment
it.
with some interesting uniform styles, and Ben Stiller is in this film doing what he does best, playing the role of the villain. And what about Ted, which asks you to accept, without hesitation, that a man's childhood teddy bear came to life, grew up with him.
Thoughts about Ted? Thoughts about Ted, just quickly, whilst we're here. Thoughts about it. Ow. The joke dies quite quick, what do you think? I don't know. My personal opinion. Teddy bear swears, does crazy stuff. Maybe? I don't know. Amusing.
Drinks, does drugs, and gets into full-blown relationships. And these are just some of the ultra-mainstream movies. Don't even get me started on Pootie Tang and Don't Be a Menace to South Central while drinking your juice in the
Pootie
hood.
Tang!
These are movies that are so absurd that you have to make sure you watch them with people who have the same humor as you, otherwise
Are we gonna
they'll
talk
look
about
at you
Friday?
like you're crazy. There are very few comedies today that keep the spirit of this insane absurdity. However, Cocaine Bear is one that does come to mind, which is about an American black bear that eats
This
a
is
stash
more
of
recent,
cocaine
right?
that fell out of a plane smuggling drugs. The bear
Oh my
becomes
God.
highly aggressive, attacking and trying to kill hikers in its way.
I haven't seen
While
this.
The movie is just alright. I do respect the dumbness of this idea. It's not trying to be relatable, it's just leaning fully into a ridiculous premise and committing to the bit, and that's something we don't
Maybe it's
nearly
not a
get
new
enough
one.
of anymore. Most modern
Newish.
comedy movies take
Oh, here we
the
go.
safe route. We get movies like Vacation Friends 2, a generic sequel with the same recycled concept of a holiday gone wrong and being stuck surrounded by people with clashing personalities. Or The Man from Toronto, another Kevin Hart buddy comedy that is so formulaic it feels like it was designed for people to turn on and then fall asleep while the ads run.
Brutal.
Comedies rarely go for absurd humor these days because, well, it's really difficult. Too open of a canvas can make it harder to build a story with structure. The freedom to do anything also means there's nothing stopping you from literally losing the plot, which is kind of what happened in Cocaine Bear. However, other great comedy films in the past started with a lightly realistic framework which only enhanced the absolute farce that took place during the film. Like Super Troopers, a movie about morally questionable cops. Sure, that sounds realistic, until you realize these highway patrol officers
Oh,
spend
God.
more time pranking civilians and messing with each other than actually enforcing the law. They behave in a way that doesn't even come close
I mean,
to representing reality,
I feel like I
and
need to
none
watch
of them
this.
would
This
still
looks-
have
this looks
jobs after
okay.
these antics. But at the same time, it does make you think some cops
Is
might
this- is
actually
this
act like that
2000s?
in
When-
private.
when
Or
was
the
this out?
40-year-old virgin.
40-year-old
Sure, it's very
virgin.
possible that a man
Classic.
could abstain
Absolute
or
classic.
just not have the opportunity to have sex for half their life. And if you found that out, you might think, wow, that's interesting, and then move on. But the movie takes that basic, believable premise and pushes it
Great
into
film.
pure absurdity.
Great
It
film.
then turns into all of Steve Carell's co-workers dedicating their entire lives to getting him laid. And of course, stepbrothers.
Oh my
I have a stepbrother.
God.
Tons of people have step siblings. It's an extremely relatable experience, navigating new family dynamics and sharing space with someone you didn't grow up with. But in the film, nothing about that is relatable.
So many quotes. That's why it's just guaranteed that it is Will Ferrell that is setting the standard for the most quotable films of all time. Like Anchorman, Step Brothers, like the list goes fucking on like crazy. Do you know what I mean?
We have two 40-year-old men with no jobs that spend their days building bunk beds, hanging out in a treehouse, and fighting like toddlers.
I didn't touch a drum set, okay?
I witnessed with my eyes
your testicles touching my drum set.
All right, that's it.
A modern version of this absurd but also still upholding a slight realistic framework is the teen comedy movie Bottoms, which is basically just another silly high school movie but through the lens of two queer students.
Haven't seen it.
High school jocks in the film wear their full
So much room
padded
for
football
activities.
uniforms 24/7 in class, at parties, while sleeping. It's obviously unrealistic, but it's a funny way of critiquing jocks
Anyone
that
seen
dedicate
this?
their entire personality to the sport they play. Oh, and a nice touch was throwing one of them in a cage in the classroom for absolutely no reason.
Try telling Dimitri Walker that. Little mother came the first week and I ain't seen him since.
Dimitri Walker committed suicide the first week of school, Mr. G.
Sure he did.
The reason why most comedy films today feel like they are missing that ultra creative touch, at least according to legendary director and producer Judd Apatow, is because comedy writers these days are just less funny. He said, when you make the list of the best movies of all time, you're always going to put Airplane on it. And if movies like that aren't being made right now, it's because people aren't smart enough and funny enough to make them. Okay, so
true. I
who
mean,
would be smart enough?
You think of a film like Airplane, and it was literal comedy, and I saw a making of that. It was like we were doing stuff on set. It was like, how far can we take this? Of like, no, we could make a gag out of that. Do you know what I mean? It's like everything they said. It's like, let's put it into perspective and actually film what we are saying in terms of like literal comedy. An absolute classic film, both of them.
Or funny enough to write a modern masterpiece. Well, I've noticed.
I don't know. I don't personally believe that people aren't funny enough now. I think that everyone is so sensitive now when it comes to telling a joke that people are scared to put stuff out. Plus, the budgets aren't there to make the storylines that we used to experience in 90s comedy, right? Like they haven't got the budget to do that. They have not got the budgets, nor are they brave enough to put stuff out like that. I think that's the facts. I don't think the comedians have just disappeared. Comedy writers have just disappeared. They're just too freaking scared. I ain't got the money.
It's that comedy films today seem to be missing actual comedians. And that's because some of the funniest and most popular comedians today are opting for something much easier and more profitable,
Theo,
podcasts. Before podcasts became wildly popular, comedians had essentially three routes to earn a career: get a job on Saturday Night Live, secure a TV sitcom, or get a role in a comedy film. The mainstream visibility earned through these avenues allowed comedians to fill seats in comedy clubs across the country. The vast majority of the comedians responsible for your favorite comedy films were originally platformed by SNL. Eddie Murphy, Bill Murray, Will Ferrell, Mike Myers, Chris Farley, Adam Sandler, Kristen Wiig. I could keep going on and on. It was much easier for a current or ex-SNL cast member to pitch a movie to a major studio because they have already proven to the industry that they are funny. So when these comedians began to see success in films in the 2000s, they assisted in casting other comedy actors with a ton of potential. Actors like Jonah Hill, Zach Galifianakis, Paul Rudd, Vince Vaughn, Melissa McCarthy, Steve Carell were able to skip over SNL and go straight to the big screen. And it sounds painfully obvious to say, but I think a large reason why older films were funnier was because the funniest people at the time were either writing or acting in these comedy films. Today, a comedian doesn't need SNL or a comedy film to determine their potential for a comedy career. All they need is a podcast. If you can be funny for an hour a week behind a microphone,
it's a great podcast
for TikTok or Instagram, and build a loyal
These guys are
audience
hilarious,
online,
man.
skip
Theo is
Hollywood
one of my
entirely
favorite.
and still sell out theaters on a national tour. I'm sure Theo Vaughn could assist in writing or acting in a really funny movie if he tried, but why would he? With podcast ad revenue, Patreon subscribers, and live show ticket sales selling out all over the country,
got his gig,
a lot of
man. He's
comics are
got it.
making more money than they ever could from starring in a studio comedy without months of
This is it though, right? Like actors making millions, like that's not the only way to make millions. It's not the only way to be successful. There's just there's different revenue streams now. Like, who would have thought that having a Patreon like account would make you this much money as a comedian, as a creator? Do you know what I mean? Live shows, podcast revenue, sponsorship deals. There's so many different revenue streams now, and people are like, "Oh, are they just doing podcasts?" It's like, no, they are killing the game. They're earning big bucks. They don't need to be in films, like this guy just said, right? Give me Matt Rife.
shooting, studio interference, or the risk of a box office flop. This shift is a huge win for independent comedians, but a huge loss for comedy films. The performers who would have once been fighting to star in the next Step Brothers or The Hangover are now trying to get a spot on the Joe Rogan podcast or be interviewed by Theo Von. They don't need to spend years chasing a studio deal, and they don't have to share their earnings.
See that Theo Von had Whacking Phoenix on his show? Like, he was just so chilled in front of Theo. Like, it was so cool. You guys see that? Anyone see that? It's fucking awesome. Check it out.
Things with a production company. It's a double-edged sword. On one hand, we can now hear from our favorite funny person every single week, sometimes multiple times a week, without waiting years for them to land a movie role. But the trade-off is that we don't get these larger-than-life, culturally defining moments that comedy films used to create. Nobody is quoting a podcast episode 15 years later the way people still quote Anchorman or Superbad. Well, except this one.
My mother's very pretty.
She's a beautiful woman.
Unlike your cross-eyed mother.
Well, you don't have to.
I'm not Bobby Mother. I'm Bobby Mom.
And another big reason behind the decline of comedy films, as predictable as it is, I know, but we have to talk about cancel culture, because there are some components of this.
Did you see the clip of Theo Von and that? I can't remember his name, Bobby. Where they were acting out like he was the son, Bobby was the son, and Theo was the dad. Did anyone see that? And Theo's go-to was, "Hello, son. How are you?" Like this, and then Bobby just lost it. I don't know if you saw that. It's fucking hilarious, man.
That make it a real factor. I think it goes without saying.
Why was that your go-to, man? It's like, I don't know. I just went with it.
That most jokes these days receive backlash when they touch on political or social issues. But comedians have incorporated political undertones in their work for decades. Stand-up legends like Richard Pryor and George Carlin have long pushed boundaries and tackled sensitive topics like race, war, religion, gender, and government policies. The biggest difference is that in earlier eras, their controversial material was more likely to be seen as a part of their artistic persona rather than something to be taken literally. The same thing went for comedy movies. People generally understood that jokes were just jokes, with no intention of doing any actual harm. Then again, societal norms just simply change, and a lot of people today feel that making jokes or making light of very sensitive issues or topics is just not okay. We should not be joking about these things. The 1981 comedy movie...
I don't know. I see, this is the thing, right? Nobody's really getting offended. Nobody is really getting offended, right? Now, think of it in this way, right? You only see what the media want you to see. If media highlights that people were being offended by something, it makes you think about something in a different light. Millions of people have complained about the new stand-up show from XYZ, saying certain things could be deemed as racist. Nobody said it, but it's in the media, so people are going, "Oh my God, that is a bit racist, isn't it? Jesus Christ, oh God, no." And then it happens again, and then someone's talking about someone who's overweight and it's inappropriate, and then that's in the media, and then people are talking about that. Oh my God, that's how he's not going to get away with that, because last time that comedian said it, there's no way he can do that. Comedians start getting scared because they think they're going to get put in the spotlight for being a bad sort of like entertainer, and it's an endless cycle. It keeps going because the media are trying to dull us down to be extremely sensitive so no one can do anything out of the fucking norm.
Porky's involves male characters spying on naked female students. This was then treated as harmless fun, but now recognized as harassment. The 1984 comedy Revenge of the Nerds includes a disturbing scene where a character disguises himself to trick a woman into sex, something that would now be recognized as rape, not humor. The 1994 film Ace Ventura: Pet Detective has been widely criticized in recent years for the way it mocks a trans woman. The 2001
that scene! This scene right here! Come on! Who's saying? Come on!
has been widely criticized in recent years for the...
Can anybody remember what he says? He turns her around. She's standing there with her legs sort of together, and he goes, "Did anybody check?" And then spins her around and says something. I can't remember what it is. And then you see a huge bulge. But the worst thing is that everyone starts being sick. Everyone starts being sick. Oh, God. And even like, earlier on in the film, when Ace Ventura realizes that what was his name? It was the footballer, wasn't it? Dan. I can't remember his name. It was in fact it was in fact Dan. What's his bloody name? I can't remember. Anyway, she's trans. He like is sitting in the shower like this, like washing his mouth out of all the mouthwash. Like, it's fucking funny. It's fucking funny. That is comedy. And I bet you any money that any transgender in the world would also still find it funny. They are not the ones getting, like, finding this offensive. They're not. They are not finding it offensive. I'm sorry. It's funny. It's comedy. Finito, bratko.
way it mocks a trans woman. The 2001 comedy Shallow Hal centers on the idea that an overweight woman is only seen as attractive through hypnosis, promoting harmful stereotypes. 2007's Norbit has been criticized for its offensive portrayal of black women. The character Rasputia is depicted as an aggressive, loud, violent, hypersexual, and domineering woman. And there's even a scene in Step Brothers that makes unapologetic jokes about white supremacy and Nazism. Chances are, if you rewatched any comedy film you loved in the past, you'll find a joke that either aged poorly or maybe you just don't think it's funny anymore. That's normal. And it may seem like these jokes or premises were
Ray Finkel, that Dan Marine, that's it, well done, Ray Finkel. Oh, can somebody please Google the saying that he says when he turns around, what's her face? Please. Did anybody know that Ray Finkel, in fact, had a winkle? Look at it! It's something. I don't know what it is, but we need to find it. we need to find it. T. Bridges says 90s was banging. It freaking was. It freaking was. God, I love growing up in the 90s. Didn't we have a good time, people? Wasn't it a good run? Hey? Wasn't it a good bloody run? Fucking hell yeah.
okay in the past and people didn't care as much, but that's not necessarily the case either. They just did not have the platform to express their opinions. Social media has given literally anyone and everyone a platform to express their opinions, but that's not necessarily were okay anymore. That's normal. And it may seem like these jokes or premises were okay in the past and people didn't care as much, but that's not necessarily the case either. They just did not have the platform to express their opinions. Social media.
No. I get his take on it, and respectfully, I have to disagree. Again, it's the way that the media have manipulated our brains into thinking that something is offensive. Like I explained before, no one's offended. Minority, yeah, maybe. Nobody's offended by 90s comedy. Like, I'm talking out of the billions of people, there's probably 10,000 people that like, I can't, that is just so offensive. But actually feel offended for themselves. People say that is offensive because we have been brainwashed and manipulated in a way to believe that it is offensive. It's hard to explain.
Media has given literally anyone and everyone a platform to express immediate feedback and criticism. And this is
including the media that posts on there. Oh my God, tens of thousands of people are now saying that this is offensive and it's been removed from Netflix. What am I talking about? What am I talking about?
a blessing and a curse. I and many other YouTubers literally.
Do you know anyone that complained that Little Britain was on Netflix? Do you know anyone? Anyone? The people that knew Little Britain knew Little Britain. People that were introduced to Little Britain, Gen Z, Gen X, whoever the hell you are. Really? Are you offended? I don't think so. Again, I think they're brainwashed into thinking that it's offensive. Harmful. They're not. I don't do anything.
really benefit from this modern social media climate. We have no superiors that are controlling our opinions, deciding who we can and can't criticize. But then again, I am also providing depth, research, and nuance to the videos that I'm putting out. I'm also not trying to say any actor or movie should be canceled, deplatformed, or lose sponsorship or business opportunities. Also, if you look at the positives, the exact opposite can happen. A movie or comedian that is overlooked by the mainstream or considered problematic could actually
God damn. It's like I said the right thing the whole goddamn time.
be really funny, and there will be online praise for it. A telltale sign is when the tomato meter from expert critics is super low, but the popcorn meter, which is fan reviews, is high. However, as we know, most of the problems don't come from people giving genuine nuance.
Okay, let's pause. If the lieutenant is really the woman that she claims to be, then she is suffering from the worst case of hemorrhoids I've ever seen. Stacy! Oh my god. Bring me back, man. He found Captain Winkle. Is it Captain Winky? Or Winkle? Oh no. Then they're all sick. Oh god, is it? Oh, it's Winky. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I shouldn't laugh. Because it's offensive. All right, let's carry on.
Criticism, but rather those who get their fix by causing outrage. Someone can straight up sit in a theater on the night of release and live tweet how funny a movie is. You'll see zero effort Twitter rage baiters go viral with vague tweets like, "I can't believe y'all think this is funny," or "this is problematic," which seems easy to ignore, but it will genuinely make someone think, "Damn, I guess I shouldn't go see this movie," or "Am I a bad person for thinking?"
Okay, so this as well is a very, very important fact about reading reviews before you go and see a movie, or listening to somebody's opinion before you listen to an album or a song, right? If somebody says to you, it was a good movie, but the lead actor, he couldn't really pull off like the American accent. He kept slipping in and out of like his British accent. I swear to God, the only thing you are looking out for is when he slips up and when he goes back to British. You'll forget everything else and you'll have it in the back of your mind subconsciously waiting. Yeah, they're right. They're right. Even if they didn't. They slipped up. I knew it. Somebody told me that they were going to slip up and they did. They did say they can't do it. They can't do the accent. If that person didn't tell you, would you have made that assumption yourself? Possibly not. Maybe you are a good critique and you can spot that yourself, but it's in your brain, right? Exactly the same if you're reading a tweet or you're speaking to a friend about an album. Like I said, it's then implanted in you. So either you don't go and see the film, or when you do go and see the film, you've already got an opinion in your brain. That's what I'm telling you about the media manipulating you before you've seen something. Or Little Britain offends millions of new generations that are, have found out about this show. It's had to be removed. It's like, oh my God, yeah, it was really offensive. Oh my God, it's ridiculous.
Thinking this is funny, and because social media rewards outrage, this can snowball into proof that the comedian, actor, or producer is a terrible person who is somehow unworthy of ever working again. People will read critical tweets with hundreds of thousands of likes, and they might disagree with what
what's going on, Sean?
The people are saying, but because it has so much engagement and so many likes, it makes people change their opinions, change their minds. Maybe this isn't funny. Maybe I shouldn't think this is funny. And before you know it, there is an all-out online war over what was meant to be a joke.
Got this
whole other wave where like now you have these people who put themselves in the oddest position of being the curators of what was kind or unkind. This was okay, but this wasn't, or I cringe when I look back at this. It's like crazy. I think those are sometimes the cringiest.
The purveyor
of what is funny or what isn't. Like comedy's a big tent.
It's ever evolving. It's not to be dictated.
Right. There's no one way to the waterfall. It's a crazy idea that this would set up and say, here's how you do comedy. It's like, you know, you got slipping on a banana peel to, you know, totally odd conversations to, you know, there's a wide range of what people find to be funny. And it's like almost like people that would like sit and overanalyze a situation to the point of making themselves feel really good about themselves.
And while you might think all of
I think he had it at the beginning, but then I don't know. I honestly feel like we need to step back and realize that it's not the individual. It's really not, because that's not the way that people think. It's not. We honestly have been manipulated and brainwashed in a way to act like that. It's really hard to sort of explain, but I honestly feel that is the truth. That again, people are doing it for click, like rage baiting. They will do this on social media to get clicks. They will do it for attention. They will do whatever they can. Do you know what I mean? And again, something deemed as inappropriate is only deemed as inappropriate when you are told that the masses found it inappropriate. You can find something inappropriate, right? But it's not confirmed in your brain until your friend, your other friend, your mum, your dad, your neighbors go, God, did you see that film? That was really like inappropriate. I thought the same, right? A group starts and then you go, it was really inappropriate, wasn't it? I thought the same. That's really strange because so we all agree. Cool. That's not the case anymore. Media gets put out. This is extremely inappropriate. Says 100,000 people. I fucking knew it. Everybody's saying it. It's on your feed. It's confirmed. It's not the individual, man. It's not.
this is just easy to ignore. It's social media, it's not real. Just make the movie, right? Well, it's evident that major studios are a little hesitant to release a comedy with edgy or politically incorrect humor. However, actor Seth Rogen disagreed with this notion during an interview with Esquire magazine. The complaint that comedy is harder than it used to be is not a valid complaint. Maybe it was too easy before, and why should it be? Why shouldn't it be hard? I like that my job is hard because I'm trying to do something that requires—
Hang about. Sorry, I've literally just had a thought. Is his new show called Is it The Studio? Hang about. Is it The Studio? It's not, is it? Holy shit, it is. Holy shit, it is. That is actually awesome. I didn't even know that. I did an audition for The Studio today. I didn't even know. I did not even know. How freaking funny is that? I saw it on the sheet and I was like, that seems familiar. And it was for this show. How fucking cool is that? I did an audition. All right, sweet, let's go.
A huge amount of resources.
Are they filming a new series or something? Is it not over? Is there something else that's called the Studio? Am I getting my wires crossed? Maybe, maybe not. I'm going to have to confirm this and I will come back. Pretty cool either way.
And people's time and energy. What do you wish you could say? What do you feel has been taken from you? It's always funny when people are like, oh, they could never make the Diversity Day episode of The Office today. You can still watch it. I'm constantly meeting teenagers who love Superbad and who think it holds up. And none of them are like, how dare you have said that? And Seth does make some great—
Fucking thank you. No one's saying it, man. Wake the fuck up. No one's saying it. No one is fucking saying it. Who? Who? Who the hell is saying it? Tell me now. Someone in the chat now that's offended by 90s films. 90s comedy. Tell me if someone's offended. Honestly, I don't know anyone in my life. Do you know anyone in your life? Has anyone ever come to you and said, I'm really offended by this film? Anyone old? Anyone young? Anyone? Anyone? No! Because no one is offended! It's fucking smoke and mirrors, mate, I'm telling ya. They're fucking manipulating us to go in a certain direction, I'm telling ya. I'm freaking telling you. It's just another proven fact that they can do whatever the hell they want up there, and we will fucking listen. Signed, sealed, delivered. No one fucking cares. Sorry. Comedy is subjective, though. Yeah, if it's funny or not. Not if it's offensive. Stuff that's been... I don't know.
Points here. Studios can still make whatever they want. There's nothing stopping them. And it's not objectively harder to be funny today. It just seems like they are not being honest about what they actually think is funny, which is why these comedy movies come out with boring or sanitized humor. The reason why Superbad holds up is because it was honest about the way many teenage boys think and speak. They are rude, crass, always thinking about sex.
So here's the thing though, right? If the leaders are controlling Hollywood and controlling what we see, why would they change it? Why would they want to make us... Why would they want to desensitize us? Like, why? They're in control, right? They're in control. They can do what they want. They can put whatever film out they want. They can approve it and go, yeah, that's cool. Send that out. So why are they making the media manipulate our brains and brainwash us to think that everything's offensive? Is it to create a division? Is it to create division within people that find stuff offensive and people that don't find stuff offensive, even though that the people that find stuff offensive have just been brainwashed? Is it to create some sort of controversial topic that was never a controversial topic? Is that what they're doing? a brilliant clip to stop on. Maybe that's what they're doing. They want to create this. Yeah, mic drop.
Insulting each other constantly, distracted in school, thinking about the weekends, and living life like they are invincible.
You just get out of here and we'll talk about this later.
Evan, we're down 2 points.
Calm down, Greg. It's soccer. It's soccer.
You, man.
Hey, Greg, why don't you go pick your pants again?
That was like 8 years ago.
People don't forget.
They call each other gay, sometimes even using the F slur, even though that would widely be considered homophobic and a cancelable offense these days.
I don't know. It's really messed up. Super gay.
The way they behave and talk is shocking and inappropriate, but that's what makes it funny, because it is somewhat of a snapshot of reality, with the exception that, like, just the average teenage boy is not that funny. Now, you might think this is problematic behavior, and maybe it is, so maybe the film is just not for you. But some take it one step further. They say a film like this is platforming and promoting this disgusting behavior. We are idolizing these morally bankrupt teenage boys, which will justify their bad behavior.
Oh, what a scene. What a scene. And they get in the car. What a scene. They got the freaking jerry cans filled up with alcohol as well. Oh, I don't know this guy. The guy's name, the police officer, he's in so many of Seth Rogen's things, isn't he? What's his name? He's absolutely brilliant. He's absolutely a Saturday Night Live guy, wasn't he?
And maybe even inspire them to act in such a way. And hey, that could also be true too. But regardless of how you feel, the movie is good because it is honest. They went for it and they doubled down on it, even though it was politically incorrect. A modern version of Superbad wouldn't ever be made because they would be too afraid to offend anyone while providing a somewhat realistic...
Do you remember the period scene in Superbad? Oh my god, you got period on you, dude! Oh man, I got period on me! Remember that? That's fucking funny shit, man.
Depiction of a teenage boy who is gross and reckless with his words. And even if they did, they would probably add some tertiary character who steps in and tries to correct their behavior or be the voice of reason. Then again, sometimes being realistic is not funny. Like, look at the 2020 film, American Pie presents Girls' Rules. American Pie is supposed to be a raunchy, disgusting depiction of the primitive young adult or teenage mind. Sex, drugs, partying. It's unapologetic and incredibly stupid. This modern version was supposed to be the same thing.
God, no. I didn't even know it existed.
Looking to spice up their love lives before graduation, 4 female high school seniors band together to harness their girl power and get what they want from the boys.
So they switched.
Let's just compare really
switched
quick.
it around.
The first clip is from the original American Pie. This is how they wrote a female innuendo.
Oh, and this one time at band camp, I stuck a flute in my.
Excuse me?
What? You don't think I know how to get myself off? Hell, that's what half of band camp is. So, are we gonna screw soon? Because I'm getting kind of antsy.
Now compare that to the new American Pie.
None of us need a man to have a healthy life. I am learning that technology has given us incredible innovations in self-pleasure. And like whatever you're into, external, internal, rabbits, wands, vibrators, remote-controlled plugs, beads, then wall balls, and wall balls. Oh yeah, I have 2 in right now. It is a very specific sensation.
Maybe this new version is funnier, and I'm...
Whoa. Oh my God. I mean, why are they older actors? I'm not saying that they're old, but I mean, they're not, looking high school kids, are they? And I'm respectfully, that woman's not a very good actress. So, but yeah, terrible scene.
just not the target demographic. So I'll ask my 20% female audience, what do you think is funnier? A girl saying, we don't need men, we have toys. Or a girl saying, I shoved a flute up it at band camp. The fear of being canceled is so apparent that studios seem to not even try to make a true comedy anymore. Some of the most highly rated comedy films in the 2020s aren't exactly praised for their straight up funny premises and jokes. Take Don't Look Up, for example. Sure, it has funny moments, but it's a satire about a planet-killing comet that's clearly a metaphor for climate change, media distraction, and problematic politics, setting up the planet for failure. Do these comments look like they are for a comedy movie? I always respect a movie that has the balls to actually show the world ending. Every disaster movie starts with the government ignoring a scientist. We really did have everything, didn't we? Damn, that made me cry. You know what other comedies are extremely popular in the 2020s? Free Guy, Guardians of the Galaxy 3, Dungeons and Dragons, Honor Among Thieves.
I mean, Guardians of the Galaxy, I would say,
these comedy movies? They are superhero movies.
Very
and don't get
humorous.
me wrong, they're entertaining, they're fun, but they're not comedies in the traditional sense.
No, of
we
course.
get a lot of these films that are action first with humor as
Do you know what? I think that this should be action/humor. Like, I mean, this would be under action comedy, right? I think comedy is a very vast word. No, sorry, the opposite. No, it's used in a vast way, but I think it should be used in a very specific way. Where films that are majority action and the storyline is action-based, it should be action humor or humorous action or something that's a different word so that we can differentiate, I can never say the word, between a comedy movie and an action humor movie, you know? Maybe. Hollywood, come at me, baby.
the seasoning. But ultimately, much like every other industry, the true reason why comedy films
I did a comedy documentary, which is called a comedy documentary, but it's not a comedy documentary. It's a documentary that's got humor in it. You know what I mean? It was a spoof documentary with humor. It wasn't a comedy. That's what I mean. We couldn't label it as anything else because there wasn't anything else. You know, it's a survival comedy documentary. Anto attempts, but it's not a comedy. It's a survival humorous documentary. It's a weird. There needs to be something else. You know. We need to figure it out. How could it be?
are not being made like they used to is because of, you guessed it, money. When it comes to movie theater ticket sales and financial performance, comedies have always been.
We said it.
While genres like adventure and action can have
Not
more
to
of an
mention the
expected
DVDs and
success
Blu-ray,
due
brother.
to built-in spectacle, global appeal, and merchandising potential, comedies rely almost entirely on the jokes landing. What one person finds hilarious, another might find confusing, offensive, or simply unfunny. Jokes often rely on shared knowledge, references, references or social commentary that might not translate across different cultures or age groups. A comedy scene that relies on American pop culture might fall flat for an international audience unfamiliar with these references. And on top of that, there's typically no giant battle or built franchise name to fall back on if the audience isn't laughing. Now, back in the day, plenty of comedies were huge financial successes. Meet the Fockers, The Waterboy, Wedding Crashers, 22 Jump Street, all grossing hundreds of millions of dollars in the worldwide box office, whereas others that are still considered good or cult classics underperformed in the box office. Adam Sandler's Billy Madison only grossed $26 million at the box office. Dazed and Confused only earned $8 million. Grandma's Boy, $6 million. And this was at a time when people were still actively going to the theaters. Our last peak in movie theater ticket sales was in 2002 when 1.5 billion tickets were sold. And although these films technically made more money than their budget, film budgets typically refer to
So hang about, let me look at that graph again. So if we look at this graph just a second, obviously we dipped down in 2019/2020, which was obviously lockdown, COVID. We never made it back up after. Isn't that weird? It's like it was sort of, you know, planned in a way. Never really got where it was, you know? Because people aren't going out anymore, are they? People aren't doing things anymore. Interesting.
Their ticket sales was in 2002 when 1.5 billion tickets were sold. And although these films technically made more money than their budget, film budgets typically refer to production costs only. Marketing and distribution costs, also known as P&A, print and advertising, are handled separately, and these marketing costs can be in the tens of millions. However, where these films made their real money was in DVD sales, also another thing of the past. DVDs,
brother.
rentals, and cable syndication were the lifeline for comedies that didn't crush it in the theaters. A movie like Billy Madison might have been considered a moderate performer at the box office, but once it hit blockbuster shelves and played on Comedy Central every other weekend, it became a cultural staple. Those secondary markets gave studios the confidence to take a chance on mid-budget comedies because even if they didn't make their money back in the theaters, there was a high probability the film would eventually find its audience later. That safety net is now gone. Ticket sales are down. Physical media sales have plummeted. Rentals are practically extinct, and while streaming might seem like a replacement, it doesn't generate anywhere near the same revenue for studios. Once a comedy film drops on Netflix or Hulu, the studio gets its licensing fee, and that's it. There's no long tail of DVD sales trickling in for years, no late night TV reruns keeping the movie in circulation. There is no second life. Judd Apatow confirmed this when he said, "After the last writer's strike, it felt like the studios decided not to develop movies. They used to buy a lot of scripts, and they had big teams of people giving notes, and they worked for years with people in collaboration on those scripts. I feel like the studios don't buy as many scripts now. Today, every comedy has to either perform in theaters that are half empty or immediately crush on streaming, or it's a total loss. So basically, comedy films just can't work in the modern era. Comedians are choosing podcasting and stand-up over film. The toxicity of cancel culture puts comedy films at risk to cause uproar, either immediately or years from now when people just decide the jokes are problematic, and combine that with no multiple
You're right, Alicia, you're right.
make back the investment. Comedy films are a huge risk that most major studios simply aren't willing to take anymore. So you're just gonna have to find something else to laugh at."
Jay and Silent Bob. Like, let's just take a second and appreciate the films that we have. Do you know? We have some amazing films that are there. They're not going anywhere. Like, we can sit and watch all of them. Come over here, watch it on the big screen. In the back here. Let's have a sub party. Everyone come over, we'll watch 90s movies for like 5 days straight. I am a massive 90s movie fan. The best era. 90s to the 2000s. Best era for comedy, for everything. And I'm just glad that we got to live through that. The majority, well, I'm assuming everybody here, no one's 12. I mean, saying that, if somebody was born in 2010, they're 15, maybe they're here. I don't know. Maybe not. GG's in the chat for the 90s. Let's go.